Do you want to start with the Chiefs wide receiver problem and continuing to rear its ugly head? It
Yeah.
feels like the most natural place to start.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? Hold on to the ball, run the right route. I mean, there's just several just miscommunication stuff that crops up, and even like a guy like the ones that are supposed to be kind of the veterans, quote unquote, of the group because it's such a young group. Like Watson, like there's one where he runs a go instead of a post, and I you can see Reed and Mahomes going like, "Oh, what are you doing, man?" Or he runs a post instead of a go. That's what it was. But anyways, but it was just like you just see that over and over. The drops that come up, even Kelsey having a drop, but Kelsey and Mahomes had the turnovers, and they had the turnovers in the red zone. So it's like I mean, if they just one of those isn't a turnover, even if it's a field goal, it's a tie game. So, but those two drops at the end are just brutal because there's two brilliant throws from Mahomes. That just kind of sums it up right there.
He's trying a game-winning touchdown.
Trying to win him the game.
Play.
Yeah,
I mean, the MVS play is a game-winning touchdown if he catches that ball. There's no imagination necessary. The Watson catch is harder to make, but that's still a play that you absolutely can make. It was a missile by Mahomes. To even put that ball in a position where he could catch it is absolutely ridiculous. And so I want to pull back just a little bit. When I've been thinking about talking about looking at the Chiefs this year, you think about some of the offensive struggles that they've had. I've done a lot of hand waving of it because I think the underlying metrics are solid and it's like, they'll figure it out. You know, it's Mahomes, it's Reed, they'll figure it out. Tonight is the first time where I find myself a little bit worried about what this is going to look like in the long term, because these are the types of teams you have to play against to win the Super Bowl. When we get to the playoffs and you're going to be relying on Watson or Rashee Rice in his limited capacity, whatever they're asking him to do in playoff games against really good teams, I don't know. I still have a lot of confidence in their ability to figure it out just because they always seem to. And I have a lot of faith in the people up top. But this is one of those games where I think you really realize against good teams in high leverage moments, they struggle to find guys who are going to come up with these sorts of plays.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like facing good teams is hard. I just can't now in the AFC. Just those top teams that would give them issues are kind of get battered. So that kind of makes me not as worried because I mean the Dolphins are playing well on both sides of the ball and they just beat them. But right before the bye, I just think that this offense is going to find the answers. Like once again, they had those two drives. The second half stuff is weird because it's definitely an opening script, off script stuff. That's always an Andy Reid thing anyways, but usually they just overcome it. And it just felt like that Kelsey fumble was very deflating for this team. And again, they don't have like that vet that's kind of just like, all right, we're just going to pound Juju right now.
That's kind of my thing is that there's a lack of reliability in some of these moments.
Too much Tony. Tony's unreliable. Like just too much of that. Like, and I get that. I get why he's very intriguing. You see the juice and you see what he can do, but he has proven time and time again, the more reps that you give to him, the more targets, the more touches you give to him, the more likely something bad will happen or miscommunication will happen. It's just proven by this point. I was intriguing the kind of like using him like a Deebo Samuel truly today. As really drilling the backfield. I mean, that's a good use for him. Don't let him run around, just give them the ball. And I found some of the run game stuff. I thought they were finding better answers in the run game. They're pounding it down the middle, duo, they're packaging a bunch of stuff on the outside. So I liked all the answers and I love the defense. So it's like, and I'm looking at the AFC because I'm trying to think of these bad Chiefs games so far. I'm just looking at the AFC. It's like, all right, who will give them issues? And it's like, I think they can hang with everybody still. So that's why I still am not that worried.
I absolutely think they can hang with everybody, mostly because the defense. I mean, they can win games in the 20s because of how well the defense is playing. I'm just worried that we're going to get to a moment in the playoffs where they need somebody to come up with one of these plays that's not Travis Kelce, and they're just going to come up empty because that's what it feels like right now. But we're having a very different conversation here. If there isn't a drop on third and 4, Andy Reid doesn't elect to punt from the 39-yard line on 4th and 4, which is a brutal decision in that moment, or MVS catches that ball. So all of the, they haven't scored in the second half, of the lowest second half scoring team in the league. Yeah. They had 2 drives where they absolutely should have had points and come away with it in the second half of this game, but multiple reasons as to why they didn't. So I have a lot of faith in them as a team overall. I just can't remember feeling quite this way.
Yeah.
Not the pass catching group, even last year. It felt like we had a version of MVS last year. It felt like Juju was more reliable than the guys that we have. So it's just a strange version of a Chiefs team that is difficult for me to process because I'm not used to it.